It's a blessed day once again. Welcome to Chatufa Live. Welcome, Change Champions. Welcome, intercessors, citizens of the Blue Movement. I welcome you to this show. We are looking at what is happening in the nation. A lot is happening as we continue to believe God for our freedom, the freedom of the Zimbabwean people. We are seeing the crumbling of Zanu PF, and very, very soon, something is going to be happening. A lot of developments that are happening in South Africa is they are slowly going towards their elections this very month. A lot. It's all over. It's all over. You know, people are running around all over. And a surprising thing that has just happened, you remember, family, in a few days we were talking about how the ANC, having seen that they are likely to be having their heads underwater in this election, have extended a hand to Zanu PF for Zanu PF to come and come to their help and help them to do the last bit of the campaigning that is left for the few days that are still available. And we've seen Zanu PF responding to that call from ANC. But yet, when it happened, a lot of other parties, they cried foul, and many other parties, they came out speaking against it, and they were actually, rebuking Zanu PF for interfering in the politics of South Africa. And we have seen a letter that has been written already by the ATM party that were complaining about the very same issue of Zanu PF being invited to come and observe the elections in South Africa. And a response has been given to that party. You know, I really applaud South Africa for this because, when a small party like the ATM can be able to complain to the IEC, the Electoral Board, about an issue like this one that they raised about Zanu PF, and the Electoral Board is able to respond positively, we don't expect to see such things happening, especially in Zimbabwe. ZEC is very arrogant. Chigumba's company, very, very arrogant. They listen to nobody, they hear nobody. They only dance to the tune of Zanu PF. So the ATM as a party, they wrote to the Independent Electoral Commission complaining that they do not want Zanu PF to be involved in the observation of the election that is going to be happening in South Africa. And this letter was a response that came from the IEC, assuring the ATM party that Zanu PF has not been given an invitation to come and observe the South African elections. Very, very embarrassing for Zanu PF. You know, having such a bad reputation is so sad, because we saw cadres from ANC were also part and parcel of the Mumba team that came to observe elections in Zimbabwe. But when now tables turn around, it is now the opportunity of Zanu PF to be going also to observe the elections in South Africa. They have been bad. Why are they bad? Because when elections were in Zimbabwe and it was the campaigning period, we never saw ANC coming to help Zanu PF in campaigns, because obviously you have discredited yourself. You've already indicated that you are partial, and that cannot work. Zanu PF has just exposed itself by going to support the election campaign period of ANC, and they cannot again now find themselves coming to say they want to be observers of such elections, especially considering the history and the bad reputation that Mnangagwa'S Zanu PF has had in terms of how they carry elections and how they rig elections, how they arm twist the Electoral Board and also the courts to their advantage. So this is a sign that Zanu PF is now known as a bad player when it comes to clean elections in the region and probably in the whole of Africa. And the whole world is also seeing this happening. A sad thing that Mnangagwa is setting. I don't know why Mnangagwa does not even care about any little reputation of good that he can ever leave. He does not care about it. Mnangagwa wants to go down in history as the worst ever politician who ever led a country. Mnangagwa wants to be seen as the most brutal and ruthless leader that has ever been seen. I don't know why anybody will be comfortable with having such, a tag attached to your name. Very, very bad. But who cares? Zanu PF are always Zanu PF. They will continue to behave in the way that they behave. But kudos for the IEC of South Africa for, giving a middle finger, showing a middle finger to Mnangagwa and Zanu PF. They are not supposed to be anywhere near the ballot box of South Africa. South Africa has been holding its elections squarely, fairly, for all the years that we have known. We've never heard of any issues of that have to do with rigging and dirty tricks and dirty man tricks. We have started to see it beginning also around this time, where ZANU-PF has started to teach Fikile Mbalula and Ramaphosa some dirty tricks of theirs. Most of those dirty tricks did not work, especially going to court, trying to block the MK party, trying to block Jacob Zuma. And also we saw the other time there was a video that went viral where ANC supporters were gathered by Fikile Mbalula at some place wearing EFF t-shirts. And then they approached the people, and those people started taking off the EFF t-shirts and being given the ANC t-shirts, like they were members that were deflecting from the EFF to the ANC. And later on, it was shown through that video, face by face, that these were non-members of the ANC. And it was a big embarrassment. So we've seen this happening in ZANU-PF, and I'm sure Fikile Mbalula has been also reading from the hymn book of ZANU-PF of how to do dirty tricks, of being dishonest, of being crookish in everything that they do. But it has not worked in South Africa, because the systems in South Africa, they are still quite, intact. They are still watertight. You cannot just manipulate the systems, and you can't manipulate the media. You can't manipulate the electoral board. You can't manipulate the courts like what ZANU-PF does in Zimbabwe. So, sad development for ZANU-PF, an egg on the face of ZANU-PF. They are not needed anywhere near the elections of South Africa. It is very shameful. So this is a result of what ZANU-PF has done in the past. They are now known. They are now seen for who they are. And we continue to thank the Lord for the exposure that is happening to ZANU-PF. This will continue to help us to get closer and closer to our freedom. So we are going to continue to demand the freedom of Zimbabwe from ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is a big embarrassment. Mnangagwa is a big embarrassment to the region, to Africa, and to the whole world over. And we continue to demand that ZANU-PF must get to its end, because enough is enough. What they have done, we have seen it. And this time around, we deserve to have a new government that does not embarrass us, that represents what Zimbabwe is, represents Zimbabweans, and that represents what is called good governance, transparency, democracy, equality, prosperity, and progress. This is what we want in our nation, and it is coming. The season of change has come, and this is the season. This is why you find ZANU-PF is just being exposed and embarrassed throughout the whole world. So this is the issue that we were looking into, family. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. We shall continue to be giving you updates as we continue in the day. So continue to watch on both channels. We are going to be giving you updates. So stay tuned. Don't go away. You remain blessed.